Hello, and welcome back to Yoga for Kids and Their Adults. My name is Tony. I'm here at Me Time LLC, a massage and yoga studio here in Troy, Alabama. This program is sponsored in part by the Charles Henderson Child Health Center. They are a pediatric physician's office and dentist's office taking care of children from birth to age 19. They fund this program through a grant that they received from the Children's Trust Fund, whose purpose is to prevent child abuse and neglect. So welcome back. We are nearing the end of our summer break, so we are starting to gear up towards the new school year. There's already been the tax holiday for school supply shopping, and there's all sorts of things being on sale for like school clothes and still the other supplies and furniture and moving around, and there's just a lot going on. So I thought, with all of these changes, having to get up early again in the morning, and you're getting into the morning routines that you may have forgotten about during all the summer fun, I thought it would be a good idea to do a yoga routine to help you go through all of these changes to your summer fun routine. So, with that in mind, you're not going to need any equipment today, not even a mat. You can just use the bare floor. If you're outside, you can use the grassy floor. You probably don't want to use like wood chips or rocks because that's just going to be uncomfortable on your feet and hands and body, because we will be getting up and down during this routine. So the one thing you will need is going to be an open mind frame, an open mindset, and enough space so that you're not going to topple over anyone who's doing this with you. So, once you have your space bubble established, you are ready to begin. So, one of the first things that changes as you're gearing up, getting ready for school again, is your morning routine. So, let's get down on the floor. We're going to lay on our bellies. Okay? Stretch your arms out far as you can. Let your head rest. And kind of stretch your fingers and toes away from each other like they're trying to touch the opposite walls. Stretch, 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 stretch. Nice long stretch. And then take a break. If you want, you can rest your head on your hands. And this is kind of how my son gets up in the morning. He's got to stretch everything out, and then he tries to go back to sleep. You might be familiar with this. So let's try that again. Let's stretch our fingers and toes to opposite ends, and then rest. Now to continue on with this morning stretching, and this is something you can actually do in your bed. Aside from the stretching your hands and your feet in opposite directions, let's try some cross body stretches and coordination here. So stretch your right hand out one way and your left foot out the other way. So you're getting this nice cross the body stretch. And then we're going to switch it up. Your left hand goes out and your right foot goes back, and just stretch it out opposite directions. Let's swap it up 2 more times. So we have our right hand out and our left foot out, and we're stretching in opposite directions. Nice long stretch. And then we're going to go for the opposite side. Your left hand comes out and your right foot goes out, stretching in opposite directions. And then bring both hands out and both feet out. Bring your fingers and toes in opposite directions. It's almost like you're feeling a split right here in your mid-back as you're being stretched across the room. And then rest and bring your head to your hands. That's one heck of a snooze alarm we got here, huh? So, to continue on with this morning stretching, go ahead and place your hands under your shoulders. Okay? Again, if anything is uncomfortable or your body's just not willing to do it, it's okay to just hold where it is comfortable. Okay? Don't ever try to hurt yourself just to follow along. So your hands are under your shoulders, and we're going to start off with a Cobra Pose. Now to do this, you're going to point your toes in the opposite direction, like opposite your head. And you're going to push your shoulders up, just as far as your body's willing to go. If this is all you got in you, then that is perfectly fine. Just keep your toes pointing as you slowly lift. If you're able to get your arms mostly straight, then you have a very flexible lower spine. And if you're not quite so flexible, that's okay. This is only honoring what your body's capable and willing to do today. So you're holding this here. You should feel a nice stretch in your belly and in your hip flexors if you know where they are. You should feel your lower back and your hips and your legs kind of tightening and toning. One more breath, and then slowly lower back down. Let your legs rest. And rest your head in your hands once again. How are you doing? Let's take a couple of breaths here, okay? We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to do something just slightly different. It's going to be the same basic idea. We're stretching our bellies, and we're tightening and toning our bottoms and legs, but it's going to be just a little different. So, last Cobra here. Again, your hands go right under your shoulders. Point your toes, tense your legs and your bottom up, and push your shoulders up into a nice cobra stretch. If you want, you can get silly with it. What kind of noise do you think a cobra might make? Well, a cobra is a type of snake, right? So maybe can you make your cobra sound? Excellent. Now slowly lower down, let your legs rest. And then bring your head to rest on your hands. Now the next pose is similar, but it's still a little different. We are going to adopt the Sphinx Pose. Now to do the Sphinx Pose, we're going to put our elbows, not our palms, but our elbows under our shoulders, palms flat on the ground. Again, your toes are pointing in the opposite direction, like back towards the back wall there. And you're holding yourself up. You're going to lift your shoulders up. Face should be straight ahead. And then dig your elbows into the ground and see if you can pull your upper body forward. You should feel a nice bit of stretch in your midsection there, in your belly, in your lower back, all that space there between your hips and your ribs. So you're digging forward, pointing your toes in the opposite direction, kind of like you're being pulled on an old-timey rack, just stretching your midsection there. One more breath, and then slowly relax and lower your head onto your hands for a little rest here. We're just going to take a couple more breaths. We're going to do the Sphinx one more time, and then we're going to practice getting up and out of bed. Everyone's favorite thing to do, right? Yeah, I know. All right, so one more time, put your elbows under your shoulders, palms flat on the ground, toes are pointing and tightening, pointing to the opposite direction. Dig your elbows in and pull your upper body forward. This might actually lift your toes up in the back there, and that's perfectly fine. One more breath, and then slowly and mindfully let your body rest. This is your snooze button here. Chances are, if you're already starting your school routine, you hit that snooze button a good 10-15 times before you pop out of bed. Alrighty, so let's see about how we might get up out of bed in the morning. So we've already done our Cobra. We've already done our Sphinx, and we didn't quite move. We are going to bring our hands under our shoulders. We're going to tuck our toes, and we are going to push our bodies up into a tabletop kind of pose. Now, if you're like me and you have some creaky knees, you're welcome to put a little cushion or a blanket under there if you like. If you don't have a cushion or a blanket, you can use a little towel. But if, for the most of you, this should be a fairly easy posture to adopt. And so we've already stretched our belly. We got to stretch our back too, don't we? So we're going to let our spine sink down, turning our hips upward, trying to bring our head to look up towards the sky. And we have, can you name this pose? It's a cow pose. Very good. This is a really great pose to take a nice deep breath into. And then as you exhale, slowly lift your spine, tuck your hips down and under, let your head take a break and rest. And you are now in the cat pose. This is a wonderful place to linger after you've exhaled. Go ahead and do this cat and cow combination here. As you inhale, turning your bottom and top up towards the sky. And then you exhale, turning your top and bottom towards the bottom, towards the ground, the earth. One more time as you sink your spine and turn your hips and your head up. It kind of makes your spine look like a smile. I learned that from one of my classmates. And then as you exhale, you turn your hips down, you turn your head down, and you lift your spine up towards the sky. Makes your spine look like a rainbow. So you sink into a smile, and you lift into the rainbow. Go ahead and do that a couple more times, just with your breathing. Inhale down to cow, exhale up to cat. And when you've done this 2 or 3 times, go ahead and come back to your tabletop, let your feet rest. And this time we're going to get our wiggles out too, because first thing in the morning, you might have a wiggle or two in you. So you're going to bring your head and your hips over to your left side, and then over to your right. If you're looking from the front, you should be able to see your head and hips go to the side, making your spine into a nice C. And then bring your head and your hips over to the right for the opposite direction. We have a C this way. So back. If you have a dog and you've ever seen them wag their tails, you know that their whole body wags when they're super happy. So this is a slowed down version of a happy dog wagging its tail. Last time. And then we're back in our tabletop. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. See if you can lift your hips up towards the sky. Okay, deep breath in and lift your hips up towards the sky. This gives you one straight line between your hands and your hips, and then another straight line from your hips to your heels. This makes a wonderful downward facing dog. And since we just wagged our tails, that means we're a happy dog. And we might do a 3-legged dog by lifting our right foot up, holding it there for a full inhale and exhale, and then slowly and mindfully dropping it down to the ground. Now, let's lift our left foot up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, and slowly lower that foot down. Let's do that one more time. Lift that right foot up towards the sky. Try to keep your hips level. Inhale, exhale, and bring that foot down to the ground. Last time, lift that left foot up towards the sky, keeping your hips level. Inhale, exhale, and lower it down to the ground. Now, go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. And you are now in a forward fold. Just let your arms rest and dangle there. This is an amazing stretch for your hips, your lower back, and down in through your hamstrings here. So this will wake up the whole body. And when you're ready, bend your knees. Slowly bring your back up. Bring your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, let them float down to your sides. And now you're awake and up. This is a great way to start your morning when you're first starting to try to get back into your school routine. Just wake up your spine, wake up your whole body, and then rise up. Now, you probably aren't going to be able to stand on your bed very well, but you can definitely push yourself so that your feet can reach the ground as you come up. There we have it. It's a wonderful way to wake up. Now, if you have any wiggles in you, this is a great place where you can wiggle out anything that's still left over. Because, when you go to school, you have to sit down and be very mindful and patient with the teacher as they're trying to explain things to you to teach you new things. So you wake up, you get your wiggles out. If you have a little shake in you, you can shimmy and shake. And then it's time to continue on with your routine. So how can you incorporate some yoga into the rest of your routine? Well, you do a lot of things in the bathroom, don't you? First, you sit down, and you can assume the chair posture as you're sitting. Of course, eventually you get down onto the toilet, do your duty there, and then stand up. Can you do that again? Let's take it from the side. You sit down in the nice chair pose, or intense pose. It's Uttanasana. And then stand up, bringing your arms back down to your side. So that's the first thing you normally do in the bathroom. The second thing you normally do is wash your hands, right? So maybe you can breathe in, bring your hands up, breathe out, bring them down, and then shimmy and shake, and shimmy and shake. Wash your hands, tops and bottoms, not just the palms. Got to get between the fingers too. And if you happen to be wearing a ring or anything on your wrist, you want to make sure all that gets clean too. So you can shimmy and shake. And then dry your hands. Now there's these things in your mouth that require a little brushing and maintenance too in there. And you need to stand kind of in the bathroom to do that, right? You might load up your toothbrush and then start brushing your teeth and realize this is a great place to put in another yoga pose. Maybe while you're brushing your teeth, you might try the tree pose. So what you do, shift your weight over to one side, lift the opposite leg, turn that knee out, and then brush your teeth as you're getting ready in the morning. Look at that. You're getting all this energy. You're bringing all this focus all the way down, just trying to get into your normal routine. And then go ahead and bring that knee forward, drop the foot, kind of kick out your legs, make sure you got plenty of circulation. You brush that side. You got to brush this side now, right? So you should swap hands, shift your weight onto this leg, lift the opposite leg, turn the knee out, and continue brushing your teeth. Now, you might notice you have a stronger side. That's the side that you don't wobble as much on. And that's perfectly fine. As you practice, you get so much better. You didn't start off brushing your teeth from the womb. You kind of got a little better as you practiced. And the more teeth you got, the more practice you got. All right, go ahead and bring that knee forward. Bring that foot down. And you can see that was my wibbly wobbly leg. So we kick out, make sure there's plenty of circulation going. And then as you're rinsing, you get your cup and you rinse your teeth out. Go ahead and adopt a wider stance and put the water or the mouthwash in your mouth. And then gargle right there and then spit into the sink. See, you can always incorporate different yoga poses. This is the star pose. As you swish in your mouth, and then you spit into the sink. And then you can come back to standing, and about then, it's the time to eat your breakfast. And that means you're going to sit at the table again, eating your food. So maybe we can add a little something to this. We've already done the tree pose. We've already done the chair pose. Maybe we can bring a foot up as we're eating. Gives a nice little stretch here to the hip, nice strengthening and toning to your standing leg, and you're eating your cereal or your toast or your oatmeal. Go ahead and bring that foot down, shift the weight over to this leg, lift this one, bring the knee up, or bring the foot up to the knee. And you're eating your breakfast, you're drinking your juice or your coffee, or, well, hopefully you're not drinking coffee, but your parents might be. Your tea or your milk or whatever it is you're drinking. Put your foot down, stand up, and let's bow to our parents. We love our parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for making us a wonderful breakfast and helping us get ready for school. Bend your knees, come all the way up, stand tall, and you have to get dressed now, right? So you go to your room and you have your new school clothes there, right? So you have to bring your arms up into the shirt and then out and down so the shirt comes down. You're getting your shirt on, right? Let's do that one more time. You bring your arms up through the shirt, out, down, and around to put the shirt on. And then you can kind of pull everything nice and line everything up. And then we have our pants or our skirts or our dresses or our shorts or whatever bottoms that we're going to be putting on. And normally that's a one leg and then the other kind of process, right? So you take your pants or your skirts or your shorts or whatever it is you're wearing. You lift one foot up, stick your foot out through the pants, put it down. Lift the other foot up into the pants and pull it down and pull it up. Get all them shimmies and shakes and wiggles out. And you're dressed and ready for school. No, wait, you need shoes. So you might bend down, put your shoes on, one and then the other, and tie your laces. If you want, you might even take a nice wide stance here, bend at the knees, turn the toes out, and tie the laces over here, and tie the laces over here. Then you bring your hands up to heart center as you straighten up. Exhale, let your hands float to your sides. And now you've got your shoes on, you got your bottoms on, you got your top on. What else do you need? Your book bag. So you put the book bag on. Make sure it's not weighing you down. If it is, that's a good back stretch, isn't it? Go ahead and widen your stance so that it's wider than shoulder width. Hold on to your backpack straps and lean back from the hips and see how long you can hold it. Can you hold it for 2 breaths? 3 breaths? 4? Oh goodness, you're getting really good at this. And then you're going to take a nice deep breath in, straightening up. Exhale, reach down towards the floor in front of you. At this point, your backpack might come up and maybe knock you on the noggin a little bit. But since we're just using our imagination right now, hopefully that's not the case. Go ahead and bend your knees, come back up. And now you're ready for school. So you can always try to think of different ways to incorporate yoga into your routine, whether it is a nice little balancing stance, or a little bit more demanding stance as you're eating. Or maybe just a simple inhale and exhale. This can always help you to get the wiggles out, get the shimmies and the shakes out, and bring your mind to focus. So now that we've moved our bodies, how can we calm ourselves to sit still in class? That's a good question, Tony. I was thinking about that one. But one of my favorite ways to focus my mind is actually just by breathing. And there are so many different types of breathing exercises. I'm going to start with some Ujjagi breaths. Do y'all remember the Ujjagi breaths? That's when you breathe a nice, big, full chested breath all the way in through the nose, up through the sinuses, fills up the lungs. And then as you breathe out, you open your mouth and you and let it come out. So it starts off with a little force, gives it a nice little silent, and then it kind of lets it exhale and get rid of the air that way, okay? Let's try that. You can stand in any posture. You can even have a seat with this, okay? I'm going to stand with my feet a little wide today, kind of bend the knees a little bit. And as I inhale, I'm going to bring my arms up overhead. And as I exhale, let my hands float down to the side with a nice... Try this for about 3 breaths. See how you do with this. So inhale. Inhale. Last time. Inhale. Kind of calms things down just a little bit, kind of brings that energy down in your mind, helps you to focus on what you need to focus on. Like maybe you need to go to your new bus stop, or maybe you need to get into the car so mom or dad can drive you to school, or maybe it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Either way, you'll need to focus to get there safe and sound. So, I do hope that you have enjoyed today's getting ready for our new school routine, yoga routine. I hope it helps you as you're starting to adjust to this having to get up and get ready and get everything taken care of before you leave and go to school again. So, keep this in mind. You can always incorporate any yoga that you want during your routine. And then if you feel like it's just overwhelming sometimes, you can always come back to that nice Ujjagi breath, that nice big full-bodied breath, and then exhale. So I thank you for joining me for today. My name is Tony. Again, I'm here at Me Time LLC, a massage and yoga studio here in Troy, Alabama. This program is sponsored in part by the Charles Henderson Child Health Center. They are a pediatric physician and dental office taking care of children from birth to age 19. They fund this through a grant that they receive from the Children's Trust Fund, whose purpose is to prevent child abuse and neglect. I hope you enjoyed today. Remember to be kind to yourself and others. Have a great week. Namaste.